everyone, it's Sharonda from Payer Waits, and today we are going to be talking about Lovecraft Country, Episode 8, Jigabobo. There was a lot happening, okay? Like, literally, a lot happening. Let me, restate that. A lot was happening, okay? So today we are going to be talking about Lovecraft Country. Let me go ahead and introduce Episode 8, my co-host Jigabobo. There was a lot happening, okay? Like, literally. I'm sorry, y'all. My computer was playing me just now, so I apologize. So now that I can actually hear myself speak, let me introduce my co-host for tonight. We have our Christina White Queen lover. We have Trey back on the show tonight. Hey, Trey, how are you doing?
I'm here and I'm blessed, and I'm so happy to talk about my girl and the way she just stayed up this week. It was just everybody on her bit, so I'm so excited to get to this week. So excited.
And we have a new person joining us. One of my faves here in Atlanta with me. She has a cool podcast called Lovecraft Crossing. Maria, welcome to our live after show. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're here. Kay wanted me to tell you all that she misses you guys. Kay went out of town. She ain't got time for us this weekend, but she will be back later. But she wanted me to send you guys her love. Because Ruby had a lot going on in this episode. So I guess first, Maria, give me your thoughts on what do you think about tonight's episode?
I really liked tonight's episode, especially when it was dealing with Dee's storyline. That suspense, that terror, that blood was pumping. They were doing a lot with a lot of the storylines. I think that's probably because, we haven't heard there might be a season 2 yet. So we had a lot of Ruby and Letty and Gia, and we didn't really spend that much time on too many things, but I still overall enjoyed the episode quite a lot.
All right, Trey, what about you?
I think I enjoyed it. I need another spin of this episode, just because there was so much going on. And this is the first episode I feel where everyone's storylines kind of intersected the most. It was much, much different in that aspect. But I like that we were able to get more. I thought we got more resolution and more things confirmed in this episode than we did with the most episodes. Like we'll get to it later, but so many things that okay, this is true, this is actually happening. And we kind of got that more in this episode than we did in previous episodes, because we only have 2 left. Going to this one, we had 3 left. So everyone's been like, what's going to happen. So now we're kind of pushing forward and seeing what kind of may pan out over the final 2 episodes.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be mixed on tonight's episode. So while I enjoyed it because there was so much happening, I felt as though there was like a little too much happening. I think that there were key moments that happened throughout the course of this week's episode that we needed to spend more time on. Like GI flew literally across the dang on world for it to be a 3-minute discussion. I'm just like, sir, are you being serious right now? And also too, I felt as though Tick just randomly mentioning, oh yeah, I went to the future, I have a kid. Can I have more detail? I think that I love that it was fast paced, and I really wanted us to focus a little bit more on Dee's storyline because I still feel as though there's a lot that we might have missed on our first viewing. But I do think it's one of those episodes because so much is happening that this is definitely Trey, me and you talked about this. So we definitely should have watched this on Wednesday because, am I slow on y'all end? Is it just me?
A little bit.
Slightly.
You know what, Google Fiber? We gonna have some problems, okay? I'm sick of this. But yeah, so but other than that, it was a lot that happened. A lot that definitely pushes the plot of the series forward. So I guess one of the first things that let me give you guys a disclaimer. So I'm taking a little bit of a mental health break from YouTube. I will still be posting stuff, but I'm not going to promise you guys I'm posting anything. So I did want to give you guys that disclaimer, and I'm not going to be posting tonight's episode. It'll be posted tomorrow before I do my interview. So I just wanted to let you guys know that before we get through everything, but I just need to take a break because it's just a lot happening. So who do we want to talk about first? I guess since Trey is joining us, let's talk about your white queen, Christina. Let's talk about her and see what the heck is going on. Let's talk about her and Ruby, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disturbed. I was a little disturbed by this whole scene that we had. So just to give you guys context of where we're at, this is called Jigabobo. We're talking about the death of Emmett Till, the murder of Emmett Till. And so this really sparked something with the characters, but most specifically, it sparked something with Ruby, who is really having a hard time of constantly dealing with the fact that we live in a country that they just don't care. If this can happen to a young boy, like, what's going to happen to us? And I like the dialogue back and forth between the adults, right? Because the adults make the decisions for D in this episode, and really the lack of parental supervision. So D down a very dark path. So I wanted to get your thoughts on Montrose's statement when he says, like, at this point, it's a rite of passage, right? It's a rite of passage in this country, and it doesn't matter. Like, this is every Negro's rite of passage in this country, child or not. And this is after Ruby says, like, I don't think that we should have brought her here. Letty wants to tell her about Hippolyta, but Atticus doesn't want to do it. So I wanted to get your thoughts with that whole sequence. Like, do you think that they're right or wrong for taking her to the funeral of her best friend? And also, too, how do you feel about this whole denial of them not telling her what has happened to Hippolyta? And Maria, we can start with you.
Well, I mean, they don't know what has happened to Hippolyta, and I can understand them not wanting to say, oh, well, she's never coming back, or, we just don't know, or she might be dead, or, she just lost her father earlier this year, and now she's lost Bobo, one of her best friends, like this. And now her mother's missing. They're just trying not to add something else on top of that, but there's not really much you can hide from a girl her age.
Trey?
I was with Ruby on this one. I don't understand why, I guess Letty was kind of on the side of, maybe we shouldn't have brought her here, but like, it's her friend, so you can't just like ignore her friend's death and not have her come. It just didn't seem, that would seem weird to me. But on the other end, for the Hippolyta aspect of it, they, like Maria said, they don't really know what has happened to her. And of course, as me as a viewer, I don't think he's done clearly yet. So I could see to that point, but it's also them kind of doubling down on like members of this family, lying to them about the status of their other family members. They did it with Hippolyta when George, they officially know that George is like kicked the bucket. At least we think. This isn't the same situation here, so it's a little bit different, but I don't fault them for at least trying to figure out. I mean, I think they said it had been a week, but they're still trying to figure out how to tell her that. But absolutely, this episode was so timely in the aspect they're saying all these aspects about murders, and especially what's going on now. So I feel like they definitely should have had her there.
Yeah, I mean, so this sparks a interesting just self-conflict, internal conflict with Ruby, right? So Ruby is really struggling with the death of Emmett Till. No one knew who Diana was. Diana is D. D is Diana's nickname, but her real name is Diana. So everybody was confused, like, who is Diana? So she is feeling a certain type of way, and then she goes back to Christina's house, aka William's house, whatever, when she sees that this man asks her, hey, like, what are you doing here? Are you supposed to be there? What is happening? I just don't understand why I'm lagging like this. Did I catch back up just now?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay. I hate my internet. Oh, I hate this so much. Okay.
You're good. You're good.
So we see that, the guy gets confrontational with her. Of course, she was like, I ain't no maid. And I was like, ma'am, like, let's not do this right now. I'm really scared for your life at this point in time. I understand that you are a proud Black woman, but now is not the time or the neighborhood to be doing this stuff. But we see that this truly disrupts, something inside of Ruby. And the entire series, she's really been struggling with the fact that she is this Black woman. People don't see her for who she is. She's not treated equally as white women. So she's already been in this tug of war, but now she's in a different type of tug of war because now she can actually transform into Hillary, which is Raggedy Ardell. And so we see an interesting thing happen when William comes and kind of diffuses this situation where he stops everything from happening, takes Ruby in, and then there's this nice montage of William bathing her, and I'm thinking like, oh, this is so cute. And I was like, take care of your boo thing. I am here for this. And then they start getting it on, and she take her potion, and I was like, well, honey, like, y'all in the house, what you need to take your potion for? And then things get a little sticky, a little dirty, a little bloody, very creepy.
Yeah.
So
whoever the maid is going to be working overtime.
Right, because I was really confused about this. And so I wanted to get your thoughts first on the montage of Ruby wanting to become this white woman because she wants to escape what is happening. She wants to escape being Black right now. And it's very interesting because, you know, with everything that's been going on in the country, we've had those same instances, but we can't take a potion, right? Like, we're still Black. Like, there's no escape for us. So I really wanted, Maria, you can give us your thoughts first on just Ruby and her internal struggle with her Blackness, but also to the fact that she is I would say in love with William, Christina. Like, I still don't know how that works.
I call them Chrysilium.
Chrysilium? Okay.
Yeah. So I actually really liked the way Ruby broke it down about why she did that. Because I was like, I am not into seeing Chrysilium and Dell getting. Ruby and William or nothing. Like, I don't want it. But I really felt her when she was giving that speech. You could see the tears in her eyes. I was about to cry too. I could feel it like prickling. But what she said made a lot of emotional sense. I mean, she's got the usual weight of being a Black woman in America. Compared with, and then this guy's questioning her right to exist in this space, to even just be there. I can understand how it could be too much. You would want an escape.
Now, Trey, for you, do you feel as though that Christina's trying to escape too? I mean, Christina's going through a lot of things right now. It's her little evil plan to take over the world. In that moment, because I thought that she was going to shed her skin and be Christina, but she still chooses to be William. Like, do you think that that's her personal preference, or do you think that she's honoring a personal preference of Ruby?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that she doesn't want to be herself just because, like, you know, when you think about it, she's trying to embody a white man now in every sense of the term. Like, I just think that's both her preference and for Ruby, but I do think this confirmed a lot of what we think that Christina's going through right now. It's not just, I think she's definitely using Ruby, but I do think that it's also an escape, just like it's for escape from Ruby, to be in this, I guess like an entanglement or something. It's like Christina, William, Ruby, and
magical entanglement.
Hillary are all is like entanglement together. And I think that it's kind of like an escape for both of them. At the same time, I do that there's definitely manipulation going on, but I do think this kind of confirmed for us that it's not entirely as manipulative as we thought, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Chrysilium really feels for Ruby, like, and is surprised that they feel for Ruby.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything will get in the way of their ambition. Like,
yeah.
You know, I don't think it does. But I feel like, what did she really ask Ruby to do this entire season? All she had Ruby do was put a rock in somebody's desk. I feel as though that she still leans on Atticus and both Christina more, you know, than anything that she's asked Ruby to do for like these past 8 episodes. So,
but she doesn't really even have to do that much, especially when Ruby and Letty may not be on good terms. Ruby will just come home and tell her what happened. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't feel like she been snitching. Like, I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, there wasn't
like,
much to say because they've both been pretending like they don't know about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
episode.
So I guess, what are your thoughts? Like, so we learned that, I guess later in the episode, Ruby, this is like one of those moments where I feel like we needed to stay on this a little bit longer, where Ruby and Letty is having a conversation after Letty confides to her that she's pregnant, and she was just like, oh yeah, I know about the magic. I'm staying with Christina. Like, she gonna teach me magic. I'm just like,
that was kind of too haphazard for me. I would say that it's like it's such a, like, that's probably one of the biggest points to be, when you're thinking like points to be made between characters, that's probably one of the threads, the biggest thread in between them. That secret, they just kind of like ran through it. And I feel like we should have stayed on that more. But it's good to know that, you know, Ruby kind of exactly knows pretty much everything that because we've never really seen the context of the conversations that Christina and Ruby have had. We know that Ruby said that Christina said she was going to tell Ruby all that stuff, but we never saw what happened. So apparently, it seems like Ruby knows most of the stuff. So,
but she doesn't know that Christina's gonna sacrifice Atticus and find
that part. But yeah, but I do think that it was rushed.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have enjoyed a little more time on that scene too, because I have been like, just talk to each other. Just tell each other what's happening. You know?
I didn't think it would happen by just like saying, "Oh yeah, I know this." I thought it would come about in some sort of like random sneaky type of way, but no, it was just like
following her home or something. Like, it was just so matter of fact, like, hey, yeah, I'm staying with the white devil and she gonna teach me magic, and that's it. Like, what?
It's like Lady didn't even stop to think about, okay, so William, but also Christina, like, she's not even piecing together that they're like the same. Like, when is she gonna find the same? It was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so there's an interesting conversation that does happen between Christina and Ruby, right? And so Ruby confronts Christina because we know Christina has no heart or soul. And she basically says, like, you know, this little boy was murdered, like, tied with barbed wire, thrown into the river, and you literally don't care. And I'm sitting up here beating myself up because I feel safe. I'm hiding out in this white neighborhood when I should be with my people. I should be involved in what is happening in my community, but like, the first thing I want to do to make myself feel safe is come back and be with you. And Christina is just like, no, I don't care. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, you knew who I was before, like, we started this whole arrangement. You stayed, you're getting something out of this too. And I kind of felt Christina when she told her that, you know, you took the potion because that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to be white in that moment to escape from what you were feeling, because that's the choice that you had and you took it, right? Like, those people don't have an escape. They don't have that choice, but you do, and you still chose to do it. So, like, don't try to make me feel sorry when you brought your behind over here. I didn't tell you to come over here. Like, you brought me behind up here.
Literally.
But I'm just saying. So what are your, so actually, no, let's take that a step further. So I do find it weird that towards the end of the episode, I'm thinking Christina is like practicing for her little sacrifice of Atticus in 5 days. And when she basically pays the men to beat her, basically do what the men did to Emmett Till, how they murdered Emmett Till. She basically asked them to do this so she can have some type of feeling to try to understand what Ruby was trying to tell her in that moment, to understand what Emmett went through. And I don't know if it had an effect on her. It's Christina. I would never think anything has an effect on her. But Trey, this your white queen. Let us know how you feeling.
It doesn't matter if it didn't have an effect on her, because at least I feel like she made an attempt. You know, I kind of liken her to like maybe a robot. You know, she just couldn't understand that feeling, like, even in the slightest, not just because she was a white woman, but just because, like, literally she just couldn't feel that. And the fact that
this girl has never played hide and seek before.
Like, Exactly. But even going back to, what we talked about before, of her, not being as manipulative as we thought. I do think that this is another scene that also kind of showed that there are different layers here that she's worked with, and she's also trying to empathize. And I know a lot of people have been asking, like, was about her laughing at the end of it. I took her laughing at the end of it because if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that it's happened with her, right? Or am I tripping?
That she's died and come back?
Yeah.
I believe
that
so.
We know of.
I thought that she was doing it just because she was like, oh, how it worked. I didn't think that it was some sort of tie to
hold on real quick, Trey. Nicole, I got you, but we're not talking about D yet. I'm gonna come back to this, I promise. I didn't forget about I saw it though.
I feel like we move it based on. I feel like we move it based upon like storylines instead of like the order. But yeah, I think that's why she was she was like, okay, wow, it happened. I'm back.
I'm sorry, I was still laughing at Nicole because she said I spent good money on that damn thing. I got you, boo. I got you, boo. You said the twins were cheesy. We're gonna talk about it, boo thing. I mean,
or that she would come back.
I don't think she was sure.
She came back real quick, y'all. I was just like, I thought the immortality thing, or I thought the protection spell was that they couldn't harm her. Because I was a little confused by that. Because you see later in the episode, she puts a protection spell on Letty, and like the bullets were bouncing off of her. Mm-hmm. So, but you know what? She did say a spell right before they did it. So maybe that's why she was able to get her behind beat, the break beat off for her. So maybe that's why. I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah, I just kind of love the way the guy who was there to beat her up was like, have you done this before? Just like, how many people would have, kill me the way Emmett Till did? And yeah, this is the third time. What do you mean, has she done this before? Sir, what do you do? Like, but it's kind of stunning and kind of a brilliant way to display like what actually happened to Emmett Till without using a Black person.
Yeah, that's
without having to see Black Payne. I think also to kind of help the audience understand that Christina has not had a normal upbringing. Like we never hear reference of her mother, or if she has a mother. We never hear reference
for the grave that she was drawing on. That was her mother's.
Yeah, when she said she wanted to be close to her family. But like we never see her talk about her upbringing. It's really just like my father ignored me all of my life. And so that's why, I was never around family to learn like having empathy for people, caring about people. Like I've never had to deal with any of that. So what I do want to talk about though are the poor choices that everyone makes with Christina throughout the course of this episode. Because one of the most frustrating parts of the storyline for this week's episode is that Letty and Atticus literally get into an argument because Letty feels that Atticus makes decisions for everyone on his own without consulting anyone, even though everyone seems to die, get hurt in some way, shape, or form. But then Letty goes and does the same thing. Ruby does the same thing. Like, so I'm just confused. Tick just so willy-nilly just gave her the key from the orrery. And Letty so willy-nilly gave her the negatives to the pages of Titus. So I guess I'm just really confused, like, as to why is everyone making deals with the devil in this episode?
Go ahead. Everybody thinks that they're trying to save somebody else from doing something, and they're going to be the ones to do it. And everyone doesn't realize that they're all doing the same. They're all doing like the same thing, and they haven't I don't understand. Like even with the Letty and Ruby conversation, like none of them have sat at the table and okay, here's what's going. Like sit there and bring it all together, and that hasn't happened yet. If they did that, they wouldn't understand so many things are intersecting.
Mm-hmm. So ER's grandpa said Christina was raised by wolves.
She was.
Probably.
Dave Freeman says, who learns magic from a demon? And the fact that they was disrespecting the house of the Lord, bringing the devil's magic up into the sanctuary. Okay,
I was surprised Christina could actually walk into the church and not.
I thought she was gonna burn alive. Okay, I was like, she should have set on fire as soon as she brought her little raggedy behind, but in her cute dress, like Maria said. But I felt like she should have burst into flames as soon as she walked up in the sanctuary. I was just like, so we supposed to lift our hands in the sanctuary, not lift our hands doing magic and spells, okay?
The literal devil was in there.
Well, you know, they're all sons of Adam, right? And it was the mark of Cain, so it's all biblical magic for them.
Oh, you know, and there was also a lot of, you know, talk between, like, you know, lady was talking about like biblical stuff, and then Christina's like, oh, I mean, magic's not really that different. It is kind of like it's kind of more parallels that they've had throughout the season. I feel like Bible wise, especially in episode 2, that we saw. You know, there are a lot of I know Kay is convinced there are a lot of more biblical iterations like Adam and Eve stuff to tie in to the current storylines. But I think that was kind of a part of the meeting between Christina and Letty at the church as well.
Did you notice that the mark of Cain that appeared on Letty after Christina does the protection spell was the actual mark that we were trying to figure out that was on William's chest?
No, I was trying to see what it was, but it went so quickly.
It was the same symbol. I was like, oh, okay, that didn't make sense. I was like, wow, I actually caught some on the first viewing. Look at that. Look at God. Well, but I do want to ask you, do you guys think that it was selfish or not for Letty to make the decision to protect herself? Do you feel like it was out of the protection of her unborn child? Because she literally did a whole prayer for Atticus and said, Lord, please protect my man. Please protect his biceps and his triceps and the glutes and the shoulders. Please protect him. And then at the end of the day, she was just like, okay, well, you can protect me instead. I was just like,
no, man. I was glad she made that choice. I mean, she does have the baby to think about, right? And she doesn't know that Tick knows, right? So that's one thing. And then also, you know, she and Christina had that little chat. What was it, episode 4? Where Christina was telling her, don't let the men make you think it's all about them.
Yeah.
And she had already died before, so I don't blame her for being like, you know what? Maybe not again.
I mean, so, but Trey, speaking of this baby, baby George. Thought it was cute that they named him after George, Uncle George. Why do you think Tick doesn't tell her about the baby? Like that he knows she's pregnant?
I guess because
tell somebody
that would be pregnant. He would have to explain how he knows, and he would have to explain going to the future, which we need to talk about because that's something else that was thrown at us 40 minutes.
Like, how does he know it was the future?
And I guess he would have to explain what he saw there and how that all ties into him dying, which he probably wasn't going to do that. But now since Gia's there and is saying, oh, he about to die, now he has to that's probably what, you know, upset him so much where he kicked the girl out of the house. So she came all the way literally across the world to warn him again. Atticus is trash, but anyway.
I really don't like his attitude with Gia.
At all. Marvin has a point. You think after all these experiences, you would think more of these guys would be going to church. I know I would have been on the front row pew, okay? They would have been like, we do a Bible study tonight. Yes, I am going to be a Bible study. I was in the choir. Lord, just protect me, guide me, whatever you need to do to keep these little magical, supernatural devils away from me, okay? So what I do want to talk about, though, is the fact baby. Yeah.
I was mad for her.
I was like, girl, let me tell you how G.I. was being petty, though. Let me tell you how she was being petty. Because first when Tick saw her shoes outside and then he walked in and they just sitting across the table and then they just look at him like, I said, honey, we've been waiting for you. But let me tell you how G.I. was real petty. Y'all probably didn't peek this, but I'm going to tell you. She didn't have to say, I was the Kumiho, and basically when men climax, so basically she trying to say, yeah, I effed your man, and he had squirted a little bit of moisturizing gel. Like he did all of that. Like so she was like, when they climax, I see their life and death, like after they smash. I was like, but did you have to say all of that? Like you could have just
Yes,
said
she did.
Yeah.
She had to explain the process.
She was being petty. She was being petty.
It was she wasn't being petty. She was just trying to be honest.
You didn't have to say when they climax, like, yes, he moisturizes every time I'm with him. That's what she was saying.
That
she
was not what was happening.
Does he moisturize? Does he moisturize when he's with you?
Wow.
That's it.
The Real Housewives of Lovecraft Country, huh?
I thought it was very petty. But it was like, you could have just said, hey, I sleep with men. I can see their future and they die. You didn't have to say when they climax, when the moisturizing gel comes out. It was just too much. I felt like she was trying to say, Letty, do something. Like, what's that? He's mine. You might have had a one.
She's trying to make sure a chick doesn't die. That's all she really wants.
Okay.
That's the thing, too, because I feel like that Tick is kind of like, oh, she wrote him because she in love with him. Like, I think she just is confused because she killing left and right and you didn't die. And she saw something she never saw before. And she's wondering what is going on. That's why she came over here so much and she cares about it. She's warning you. And he's like, the woman scorned coming over there.
She is the first person that she has ever loved and has ever loved her in return.
I'm just like, April said they should have played Moke and Steph in the background when G.I. was at the table. I'm so nervous for him. I was so mad. Not G.I.'s pimping her new book. He moisturized me and did that. I'm done with y'all. Look, you know what? Not Kumiho WAP though. See,
I saw that. Yeah.
on this Sunday, and y'all doing all of this. See, I'm done. I can't do this. But look, so
there's some tales in this house. There's some tales in this house.
So here's my thing though. Atticus is an F-boy. Like he trash. I know I did not get on a plane, an aircraft, whatever they were taking in the 50s to come see a little raggedy about to die behind. Okay? I came 5 days before your little raggedy behind was about to be killed to tell you to save yourself. And then you gonna sit up here and tell me what we had wasn't real and get the F up out of my house? I said,
so disrespectful.
What bill did you pay to make that your house? You don't pay no bills.
He gets the help.
That was so uncalled for.
I would have brought all my tails out right then and there, and I would have just I would have finished what I started in Korea. Like, oh, this your house? Oh, get the F up out of your house. Nothing was real. Okay, well, since it ain't real, let me go ahead and finish what I started, boo.
I would be like,
let her into the house.
The owner wants me to
get out of my house. Out of my house. Man ain't worked a day in his life on this show. And you have the nerve, the audacity to be like, this is my house.
And he making phone calls on somebody else's dime to Korea.
Girl, long distance. International phone calls in the 50s. Do you know how much that costs?
I'm just trying to figure out that plane ride.
See, he's called her twice now and he's upset that she shows up.
Right. I'm just so confused. I was just like, so you called me. You woke me up out of my sleep, okay? You left me in Korea, didn't say bye, didn't do nothing. And then you sit up here calling me, talking about how did you know? And then you...
Trash. Absolute trash.
I can't. I'm just going to have to move on from this because I'm still really upset about that. But then what didn't make sense to me in the dialogue is afterwards, so Letty gets up, runs off, she packing all his stuff like, get your ish and get out of my house. And then when he gives her the perfect time to tell him that she's pregnant.
The absolute optimal time.
Literally. Then she tells him to get out and he's like, I'm finna go make things right. And then she like, come back. We can do this together. Ma'am, didn't you just kick him out like 2 minutes ago?
I think it just hit because I forgot the exact line he said, but then I think for a moment she forgot that she was pregnant, and then he said something. I think she was kind of like, "Oh wait, whoa, come back."
I was just like, "Ma'am, have it make sense." They talking about it's the hormones. Look, I was just like,
I will take that. It probably is that, and then also all the weird stuff they've been through. She believes what Gia is saying.
I was just like, that just didn't make that whole conversation didn't make sense for me. I was just like,
it was a lot.
We need to tighten this up a little bit. Like, we just needed to tighten it up.
We need an accountability circle, okay?
Yeah, like, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It sounded like somebody was in my house. Somebody in here.
It's them 2 little girls.
Yeah, right. Hey, we didn't do that. We ain't doing that, okay? I think, okay, so we do need to talk about the end of the episode, right? And then we're going to jump into D because she takes off. I need to talk about her because we have to, actually, no, let's talk about D. Because first I need to talk about how the adults were trash this entire episode. So we start the episode off because somehow they lose D. 4 adults lose D, okay? And we see that D just out here wandering the streets. It's not safe to be wandering right now. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And so many times the adults lost D in the episode. Montrose lost D. Letty just watched D choke and just said, "You need some water."
Letty
what? She was like, "Do you need some water?" She was like, "Go in the house and get some water." I said, "Ma'am, what do you mean?"
But she should have gone in the house because she would have had that protection had she been in the house.
But no, you're right, because she was she was at the office when she got attacked by the little zombie girls. But I was like, bruh, like she really was choking, and she told her, she said, "Your uncle in the house, go get some water." I said, "Ma'am."
I was so upset with her.
Because everyone was so worried, like y'all literally, and then that didn't make sense either, because at the end, Letty says, when she's having a conversation with Ruben, she tells her, like, "Hey, I wasn't able to take a picture because it was too much for me." And she was like, "Did you see him?" And so I'm just like, so y'all lost Letty. Y'all lost Ruben. I can't even get their names together. So y'all lost D. And y'all went to go find D, but somehow y'all still had time to go view the body of Emmett. I was really confused. I was like, that is a loophole in the writing. And I just didn't understand that, because how did y'all have time to go to the wake? Because they were in line to go.
I'm just trying to figure out how Letty was so concerned. Y'all shouldn't have brought her here. All this type of stuff, trying to find D. D show is up at your house on the other side of town. And you just like, she clearly looks concerned. And you just like, "Oh, what's wrong with you, girl? Oh yeah, go on now. I'll be back."
That was very like out of character.
Yeah,
particularly for this episode.
Yeah, that's why the whole episode, I was just like, y'all, just some of this stuff just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I really don't understand it. But I do love that they have the song that's playing at the beginning of the episode is called "Cruel Summer," which that was, and which is weird though, because I thought Emmett Till passed away in December.
No, he went down to visit his family for the summer in Mississippi.
So so what happened in December? Okay, that's side note. Sorry, that's just my mind. Okay, sorry. So we see that Dee is walking around aimlessly in the streets of Chicago, okay? And she sees the 2 girls laughing, talking. They wave at her, and the girl picks up rocks and starts throwing rocks at the girls. I said, "Ma'am, that you deserve to get your raggedy behind beat for that, because they were just nice to you, okay?" So
I understand her feeling though. Like I've felt that way before too. You know, something catastrophic happens to you and like other people are still laughing and enjoying themselves. It just feels wrong. Like how could they possibly be happy at a time like this? You know, well, all these incredible, horrible, traumatic things are happening. So I understood her. But no, she should not be throwing rocks at folks.
Yeah, you should be throwing rocks. But I think the part that really threw me off is when the police officers come, and I'm still confused from last week's episode how Dee's comic literally has no blood on it when it was literally sitting in a pool of blood under the dead police officer at the end of last week's episode. It still doesn't make sense to me, but I guess I'm just going to have to let this go. It's another plot hole. But we see that they confront her, but they start drawing stuff on the floor. I'm like, hold on, what y'all drawing on the floor? And then I don't even know if I can talk about this because, baby, when I tell you that I had to turn my face.
So gross. It's so
like,
gross.
I felt sick. I'm sick to my stomach now thinking about, I still see it in my mind, the spit that he put on her forehead. And then they had the audacity to show it and it to be dripping down.
Somebody showing spit.
I just... That's like Slim. That's had to be like Slim.
Right?
Like, how you got all that mucus? It was
so sticky.
Oh my God. And you can hear it when he touched her face. And then when she touched it, I just said, my God. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry.
But why was it so viscous? Yes. Oh my God.
Did you guys see how when she's looking, they show the cream of wheat, which cream of wheat is actually very good if you guys haven't had it before. They show the cream of wheat sign, and then you see when she runs off how the eyes in the poster like, follow her away. So
my mom who's in the chat. Hi, Mom.
Hey,
pointed
Mama.
That out to me.
Hi, Mama. So they so this is a little weird. So these zombie twins, Nicole, we get into your thing now. So Nicole thought the zombie twins or the dancing chicks, whatever we call them tonight, they think that they were cheesy. I actually like them. So like they could dance too.
Right? They was hidden
everything. So I was actually really weirded out about this, but I do want to talk about when she gets into the bathroom and we see that she's looking at Uncle Tom's cabin. She's trying to block out Montrose to try to give her this speech on how his friend got killed back in the day and how you can't let the white man take stuff from you. You got to like fight as much as you can. He doing his whole speech. I'm like, sir, she literally.
It does eventually get into her. Like she does eventually receive the message.
Well, yes, but I'm like, she didn't turn the radio on, like doing all this stuff, turn the water on, like Montrose. I understand you trying to do right, but when she cursed at him, now when she said you ain't my effing daddy, or no, she's like you effing lying. I said I know you lying up in here cursing, and she
I mean, if your mom's missing, your dad just died, and one of your best friends just died, was murdered brutally, I'm gonna give you a pass for like 48 hours.
I mean, in the F word.
Yeah, it's a lot. Especially when she feels like nobody's telling her the truth. None of the adults are telling her the truth.
Okay. I mean, I guess.
And now she just had that whole thing with the cop. Yeah, I mean, you know, like.
I mean, I guess. I'm gonna let y'all have that, but I'm just like, I know you're not cursing to be in my house. I mean, I guess it wasn't his house. It was
his house. Right.
Whatever. But so we see Uncle Tom's Cabin. And so Uncle Tom's Cabin was published in 1852. It's a novel. I think, what's her name? Harriet Beecher
Stowe.
Yes, Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote this. And this is actually the book that they say was kind of the catalyst for the Civil War, which is an interesting comparison because if you look at the murder of Emmett Till, his murder was actually the catalyst for the second phase of the Civil Rights Movement, which was the Montgomery bus boycotts that took place. So, we see that the little demon thing pops up. So when demon kids pop up, let me tell y'all what I don't do. Let me tell you what I don't do in horror, okay? I don't do kids, and I definitely don't do no little demon-looking kids, especially no black demon-looking people, because that's too much for me. Okay?
Well, they were dressed up in that extremely racist pickaninny style, right? With the red lips and the hair all over the place and all that.
Yeah. And you saw the dances they're doing, like they'll be doing a little yeah.
It was hidden it.
So, what were your thoughts when you saw these two zombie, whatever y'all want to call? I call them the zombie twins. So, whatever y'all.
I call them Demon 1 and Demon 2.
Okay. What were your thoughts on it, Maria? On them,
they were very spooky. Definitely up my horror alley, I guess. The way they just follow her wherever she went, didn't matter where she was, how nobody else could see them, how their claws could grow, to reach out and touch her.
Sharada, I thought of you when I saw their nails. I was like, what you trying
to say? I don't know, Sharada, let's see your nails.
Hey, I was like, they nails look cute though. I was like, I wish I could do that with my nails.
But their like whole choreography and everything, that was amazing. Almost a little distracting because I'm like, wait a minute, what are they doing? What are these moves? But I really liked at the end, like the last scene they had with her. One of them gets upset because the other one actually caught her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was like, so they're just children. They really are just demon children.
Yeah, it was. I remember I was like, yo, first of all, I was like, Kay's never going to watch this episode all the way.
She's definitely not.
She's not. I texted her. I was like, there's no way that you're going to get through this episode.
Really? Oh.
She's not. She didn't even make it through episode 3. And I think this is scarier. Like, when they came up on screen, I was like, I should have watched this during the day. Like, there's no way that I should be watching this late at night because I just don't have time.
They were pop like Chris Brown.
But they were, though. They were getting it. I said, y'all better.
It was one point in the alley, I think, when they were when Dee was trying to follow the cops. It was one move that hit. I was like, that's like one of them TikTok dances.
I saw her twerking. I saw her twerking in the alley one time. She was twerking.
I was like, classy, bougie, ratchet.
Drop it low. I'm just saying, drop it low. So I don't know. So we follow Lancaster, right? Raggedy behind. And we see that he basically tells her, like, if she gets the orrery for him, then he'll take the spell away and, he'll make sure that they don't follow her. But he says that she's going to die anyway. When she cursed him, I said, my mama named Greek. It's Hippolyta. It's Greek.
I know. Oh, my God.
I was like, girl. I said, this is not the time or the place.
But it is. But it really is.
I guess Ruby said she didn't have nothing else. Dee said she didn't have nothing else to lose at this point. She's lost both her parents. You saw that she found Woody in the bushes. I was just like, so that was y'all hiding the car? Y'all hit the car with some leaves. Didn't even cover the whole car. I was just like.
And then, it was also that speech that Montrose gave to her,
Yeah.
So I gave it to them as good as they gave it to her.
While we're on Dee, I will say that I did wish that this episode focused more on Dee. I feel like the other character-driven stories, we kind of got more of them, and I thought that this would be more of her being. I mean, she was kind of the central.
She had more screen time. I didn't feel like she was the center of this story.
She wasn't. Like, I mean, I guess she was centered as, of course, like that was kind of the main. That was kind of like the focal point, but still, it was a small focal point. It wasn't like huge. Just like, because to me, I think between the Ruby and Christina stuff and the Letty and Christina stuff and the Atticus and Christina stuff, and it was just
Gia and Letty and
the Montrose stuff. Like, there was a lot of things going on. I wish it had gotten that, and for them to have. They did tease this Emmett Till stuff,
but it wasn't Emmett Till though.
And it was just like, I mean, the setting was a funeral, but like it didn't really. I mean, I guess it played in Christina.
It was the backdrop of the episode.
Yeah, it was the backdrop of the episode. It played in Christina, trying to feel something. But other than that, it just didn't really tie in the way that I thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, but this is another plot hole for me, right? So. When she says Dee, why do I keep calling Dee Ruby? Dee says that it stinks in here, right? So we're referencing the guy who was being drained to death in the closet. So now that and Lancaster is dead now. So like, are we ever going to get answers about who was in a closet? Why was Lancaster wearing black skin on his chest? Like, I don't know if we're actually going to get answers because Lancaster is now dead. The creature killed Lancaster at the end of the episode.
I was like, that I mean Beyonce, I think she at Wimbledon or something, she was like, yes. Like when those monsters came out, I was like, yes.
Yeah, I
Get
mean,
'em
I was
all.
so surprised. Like, I did not
I didn't
expect that at
expect
all.
that to happen. I mean, so I guess we need to delve into that. I do want to mention one thing, though. I love the voiceover that's happening when Diana decides that she's not scared of little zombie kids no more. I don't know why she wasn't scared. I'm like, they look crazy, raggedy behind. You think they can die? Like, what were you thinking? But for those of you who didn't know, that's actually from Naomi Wadler, who was at a March for Our Lives demonstration in DC. And she did a speech on including young Black women into the narratives of gun violence that happens throughout the course of the U.S. And so I thought it was really cool that they actually used that as Dee as a young Black woman, that she's standing up for herself and she's making sure that she does what she can do to protect herself.
Because nobody in this episode was trying to protect her.
No, not nobody. Not nobody. Nobody whatsoever. I just didn't understand. I do find it interesting that Tick and Montrose has a very interesting conversation that is really glossed over, which just we find out that Montrose is dyslexic in the episode when he's trying to do the spell, and Attica's like, "What else don't I know about you?"
That George might be your daddy.
Right. They actually hinted that to us. Remember when Atticus found the letter and he like mixed some words up and he was kind of confused about it? He was like, how does somebody who knows so much,
right? Because he thought Arkham was Artem.
Yeah,
he thought, yeah.
So he mixed the words up. So I was like, well, technically your daddy, I mean, you should have been known, but I mean, you just in your own little world. So I guess it is what it is. But we also find out that Montrose never cheated on his mother, on Atticus's mother. He said he had desires, but he never acted on anything until after his wife passed away. And then that's when we get this random story like, oh, hey, yeah, this is my son. The lady's pregnant. I went into the future and the lady pushed me out and gave me a book and then I came back. I was like, what? What is happening? Like, so what were your thoughts on like that whole sequence? Because it was like so much. Like, I'm dyslexic. Yeah. You didn't do the protection spell right. I didn't cheat on your mama. Like, what were your thoughts on that whole sequence between him and Montrose?
I kind of wish we had like maybe a 15-episode season because like I feel like this is a big Montrose backstory episode too, to pack on to what we knew before about him, and it just we kind of zoomed through that. It took us like 40-ish minutes probably to get to the fact that we know that Tick came across with this book, and basically knows all this stuff. And I guess we talk about how it's a lot of it's the fourth wall breaking of them telling us stuff that has been changed in this series from the book.
I thought that was.
Oh yeah, we was like, yeah, Christina was a man. He was a man, boy. I was like, oh okay.
Uncle George ain't died in the book.
I was just like, oh, all right.
Well, he got the real book. Everything but Matt Ruffin.
Honestly, that had been somehow incorporated into it. That would have been cool, but it moved a lot, and I wish we had gotten because I don't know if we're gonna have more of like Tick and Montrose talking, and I feel like that was a key moment.
I think we're gonna get more of Montrose in the next episode, considering it's about Tulsa.
Oh yeah, that was the episode that Michael K. Williams kept spoiling for us. He was like, yes, in episode 9. We're time. And I was like, oh, okay, tell us the whole story, why don't you? But he said that was one of his most challenging episodes, so I think it would actually be good. Mimi has an interesting theory. So she thinks that Lancaster is doing the same thing as Christina, draining the man's body to sustain. Lancaster can be dead too. For one part of the thing, I thought Tick was acting so weird. I thought Tick was Christina at one part of the episode. Like, when I was like, Tick, why are you checking your watch? You're supposed to be going to find Dee. And then I got confused at the end of the episode because I thought Atticus was in the house with Letty and Ruby for a moment. So when they cut to him walking on the street, I'm like, hold up, weren't you just in this house? But I guess I got confused with everything that was happening with the protection spell and stuff. But I mean, the whole police force shows up to Letty's house.
Yeah, it has to be the entire
station. Has to be, like literally the entire. So Lang left Raggedy behind. I guess he said, look, we done trying to do this the nice way and go through people. He's already upset about that he knows they know magic and the pioneering thing with Letty. So he basically goes and he says, hey, we found out there's some radical the Nation of Islam radicals that may be in your house. I was just like, sir, could you at least try to make that sound right? You could have just said,
they made a point about showing us what would appear probably, I guess, assumed to be members of the infiltration novels. Because I was one at the beginning, I was like, they showing a lot of like what's going on behind it, but I guess that was in their back pocket to say during that moment of the episode.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, y'all, that felt like a little extreme, but sure, we'll just go for it for the sake of going for it. So we see that so he realizes there's a protection spell, so he knows that they know even more magic.
I love it so much.
So the other dude just walks out, and I was like, so y'all just gonna leave like that? And then they literally start shooting the entire house down. But we see everything's bouncing off of Letty, and then she just sitting there like, I felt it was about to be like, you know, in the movies when like something crazy happens, they're like, I bet you're wondering how we got here. Like, I thought it was going to turn. Yeah, like freeze frame and be like rewind like 3 days earlier. It should have started off that way. Now that I think about it, it is what it is. But we see that when she's going out, she sees that Atticus walking up like, what is going on? I'm shook. She shook. The police shook. And then the police, like, she run out of the house like, no! And then, of course, I was like, well, clearly they're going to shoot him if she just decided to run up out the house like this. And then the monster pops up out of nowhere. And I was just like,
yes.
I wasn't ready for this. Like, I'm happy for you. I'm happy
well, because, like, we weren't even sure that the spell actually worked, right?
And we never talked about these creatures since episode 2.
Where have they been?
We have not mentioned them. They
showed up and they showed out this episode. I swear they did.
And they didn't seem too afraid of light either this time.
Nope.
Not at all. So, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Because, I mean, we see after he kills everyone and takes care of Lancaster Raggedy behind, that he lets Atticus puts his hand up. What was your hand supposed to do? What was your hand going to do?
But yeah, I mean, they did it in Game of Thrones. They always, they did it in How to Train Your Dragons. It's a thing, You got a creature who works with you. You got to touch them on the forehead.
So, but see, now I have more questions because we haven't discussed these creatures at all, and we're going back in time for next week's episode. So I guess I'm just like, how is all of this going to neatly wrap up?
Was that the baby one that grew up rapidly from the cow?
That came out the cow? No idea.
We have no answers for any of these questions, so I'm just kind of confused. So Miss Nerd Girl said, did anyone see the blood from the monster got all over Tick and Letty? Yes. I was just like, I was sitting there like, so you supposed to be protecting me. You can't protect me from getting all this blood on me.
I did laugh when that one cop went flying across.
That was hilarious.
Look, they were over it, okay? Y'all think the lady with the robotic arm showed? Yes, I do think that's who showed them back.
I was thinking it was Beyonce, but I like that idea too. That was Diana.
Someone said, what happened with G.I.?
Girl, take her on a flight back to Korea.
Nah, you ain't gonna talk to me. And
I hope it's not. I hope that she has some type of tie-in.
I'm sure she will.
They said the monster had melanin. The monster was like dark skin.
Dark skin monster.
I think that.
So it can light.
Where's Hippolyta? She in the multiverse.
She like Barry Allen.
Out. That's what I want to know.
Are the cops? I think the cops only turn into creatures if you bite them and they're still alive. If you kill them, they're not gonna turn.
They rip through them.
So Talia said that they could sense, not the vampire pig, said they could sense the break white blood and Tick. I love when Tick said to Christina, like, it's my birthright. I said, say it again, Tick. Say it one more time. And I'm
but she was right though. Like, you don't have enough whiteness to pull that off.
She basically said, you don't have the range, okay?
You don't.
You don't have the range for this conversation right now.
I was just really confused. So
She was like, if you're white, maybe, but you're not.
Like, sir, it's my birthright. Have a seat. Have several, okay? We don't know if it was a baby because they literally have not brought up these creatures since episode 2. No creature has been brought up.
If we're thinking about if that had any sort of meaning, this show does a lot. So, but if that had any sort of meaning in the show, then that would have been that same monster, because Christina, if she's been working many steps ahead, then she clearly had a purpose in breeding this new monster. So maybe, and that was her first at the time. So maybe this is that monster that she was the what do you call it? The what do you call it? Yeah, the doula. I'm gonna say the doula.
The
doula for this baby.
The creature baby.
The creature baby.
Oh, okay. Not the creatures got doulas. Okay, fine.
I'm just saying, I think that there's a greater purpose to that scene and how it connects to this monster popping up all this time later.
I just hope that when Hippolyta come back, that she beat everybody raggedy behinds, because like you just left.
Especially when she finds out what happened to her daughter.
Right.
And I know people saying the monster was bred to protect Tick. Maybe not necessarily protect Tick, but Tick is a purpose in Christina's, pathway.
Yeah, and he does have that blood again, and they did do that spell. So
I just
Angela in the chat was saying, "Who's gonna clean up that mess? All the dead cops."
Yeah, y'all just gonna leave the dead cops there. Like, what are the white like? She's in a white neighborhood, like, so nobody saw.
What story are they gonna tell? Like, how this happened?
Just like I said, there's been no repercussions for what Ruby did in episode 5. What are the repercussions for killing the entire police force? I don't think you can hide the whole police station got killed.
Right. So I wouldn't expect there to be repercussions. I don't expect there to be repercussions for what Ruby did, because it was just one dude and nobody saw it was her, and he wouldn't be able to explain it anyway, right? But this you cannot hide. The entire neighborhood saw this. It's going to be on neighborhood app the next day. Like,
what's that little ring apps that people got?
Yeah, next door, all that stuff.
Oh, Queen Bianca thought that the love scene with Ruby and William was sexy. I was just like,
I mean, minus the Del parts, yes.
I'm just like,
I did really love the way he was like caring for her and being really tender with her in the beginning, in the bath and everything. I was like, oh
yeah, I like that part.
The raggedy popped up, and I was like,
but then like, I don't want to see that.
It's the 1950s. What apps? Look, y'all not gonna try to claim I said like the Ring app. Don't start with me, y'all. We didn't make what happened in episode 2. We not doing that. We not doing it.
It's magic, okay? There's magic. You don't know.
Shoot. Just saying. So who was trying to secure her woman? Oh, those were cute, Mimi. I did.
They were doing like selfies and stuff in 1950.
People have always been doing selfies. Cameras were invented.
Photograph. Like, she took a picture of them.
A timer.
I still just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't click on who I was trying to click on.
I'm sure those neighbors saw Danielle, because they love looking out their windows at that house with the black people in it.
I don't know. If they were shooting like that, though, I'm getting down. So I don't know. Maybe.
Right.
I need to blow my nose. Do y'all have any more questions so I can go to the bathroom and also see if there's an intruder? There's a stranger in the house.
Everyone has a lot of theories about how GI can play in taking down Christina, which I'm interested to see if that would.
Me too.
Oh, you really did lose their memory. Why did the twins not get D in the alley? I wanted to know, why did Dee go into the alley when the officers got her? I was like, why are you going into the alley? Like, you should be out.
I think she was really just trying to disappear. Like,
girl, where you gonna disappear to?
Just maybe, if they don't see me, they won't bother me, kind of thing.
Of course I have time for you guys. It's just that I need to blow my nose. Yeah. I also need to make sure that someone didn't break into my house and is waiting for my lives to be.
We gotta watch out because
me and my neighbor's been getting into it. So yeah, we've been getting into it today. They got some little trifling kids staying with them that've been running around. I'm just like, I will be. Let me give me some sage. Shoot, I'm gonna give me some more peach cobbler. I made me some peach cobbler tonight, y'all. Can't about to tear it up. About to get up in there. What other questions do you guys have? Y'all better not be trying to wish these little dancing twins on me. I know y'all not gonna do that. I know y'all lying.
Why would you do that?
No. They're gonna be hitting them TikTok dances tonight.
Right. Diana wishes a shock in the alley. Maybe it's a time travel. Tick's real dad. What do you mean his real dad? You talking about Uncle George? Oh, we talked about it, boo. We talked about how her and Ruby got into an argument. Well, it really wasn't an argument because Christina wasn't tripping. So she wanted to feel how Ruby felt. Or
Christina was like, I experience no emotions concerning this matter.
Like, I can only do it if I experience the entire
My
incident.
girl, my white queen, was trying her best to experience emotion.
I mean, I guess.
And she said that she wanted to die like Emmett Till in order to relate to her boo on some sort of level. I don't know if we don't really know if she did that, but the attempt was there and it was made.
I'm done with y'all. That TikTok gonna be lit on Halloween.
It is.
Man, I do wish, we would have all of our cons again, because I can't imagine how all Black cosplayers are gonna be doing this show. I can't wait to see somebody done up like Beyonce. Oh man.
Could have. Someone say y'all think Tick went to 2020 because he saw white folks rioting.
Where?
The 2020. We don't know how far in the future he went.
Right. And that's the thing, like I know Tick got the book, but when he was there, like what did he see? How did he know when he was there that it was the future? That's what I was saying.
He went in the portal, but they threw him out and handed him a book. They're like, get out of here.
And I talked about this also before. I think that this is Christina's first time trying to die and come back. I think that that's why she was like, she was like, "Hi, we did." I don't think that it was related to anything. Oh, Sharonda. There you go.
I'm here, but I need to blow my nose.
I believe that it was related to her just going, "Oh wow, it worked." That's what I think. And then someone said that in the subtitles on the episode, it has crying then laughing when Christina's doing that. So I think that's what. But yeah, we talked about this earlier because it kind of moved like storyline based as opposed to like episodes, like the chronological order. So we talked about a lot of the Christina stuff earlier.
But Angela, a lot of the stuff that Tick mentioned, well, actually everything that Tick mentions in the Lovecraft Country book written by his son is based off the book that the show is actually based on. So Dee is Horace in the book and so on and so forth.
And they really, I just thought it was so funny. They kind of really broke the fourth wall. No, this is a TV show. They
were like, hey, they're like, actually, Christina's a man in the book. I was just like, y'all, we just now saying this. It's 2 more episodes left. I don't think it mattered no more. Okay.
And also, I really like Christina with Netsetter's point about how Christina chose to die and Emmett did not.
I'm saying that she of course, differences.
Where's Netsetter saying it? I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses today, y'all. I lost
of
my
course,
glasses.
differences, but I'm just saying there was an attempt made. I do think that she is manipulating Ruby, but also feels for Ruby and is trying to because this is something that Ruby cares about, is trying to, in her sense of the term,
You
trying
to protect Christina. My God, the reach out of this.
Right. It is not a reach. The reach is like here. It's like right there. It's like right there.
Oh my God.
The reach is like all the way up here into the heavens.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's like right there. I do think she was trying to feel something. And that was in her twisted, robotic type of way. I don't think she's testing mortality. She doesn't have much.
Why my nails got you triggered?
I mean, she said she had never done it before. So I mean, she has seen how it works, but I don't know. But she's also not a man, so she may. I think they're different. I think they're different angles. And I swear I'm not reaching. Y'all go back. I'm not.
JMC. You mean MCJ? Justine? MJ said it's the reach for me. Thank you, baby.
It's not. I'm just. Y'all, there are people.
Y'all be on Trey side.
Thank you. No, she said no child. Yeah, exactly, Camille.
You ain't gotta be calling me out. Like my diet's still on, but I just had a craving, so I cooked some peach cobbler today. Don't be trying to snitch on me, ASMR. Shoot.
Let her have her plate, okay?
Oh, she was testing her immortality experiment. No, in order to do her immortality experiment, she actually has to sacrifice Atticus's body to be immortal.
So at this point, it looks like she's just invulnerable, not immortal.
Right. I think what Larry meant about Dee already being dead is that the twins, the zombie twins, were going to get her. You see toward at the end of the episode that they had already cut her, and then you saw that there was like some type of poison going up her arms when my trophy was touching her.
But our good brother Monster was able to slash through all of it before the end of the episode. So I'm assuming that the spell is invalid now. They did, so
I'm hoping so.
I'm thinking that's what happens. But there's some reason why she just only. I mean, we are inferring that she's going to lose an arm, but
Christine said that it looks like that Ruby's going to choose Crystalium because I'm afraid she's going to get addicted to the white woman potion.
I don't think so. I don't think she's going to get addicted to the potion. Like she had said this episode, she doesn't want to be white. Although she did use it as an escape, I don't see her doing that in like everyday life.
Yeah.
So why did they mention Emmett Till? Why didn't they just make something up like they do for the rest of the show? Well, most of the stuff still centers around true events that were happening during that time.
And he's been in the show. Her friend Bobo. So he's been in the show for.
I remember they were playing the Ouija board, and he was like, "Will I have fun on my trip?" And they said no. I mean, they could have warned him a little bit. The spirit could have warned him a little bit better.
A little bit better than that. Like, stay home.
Diana is cursed. Christina will only help for Tick's life. Oh, maybe that's why she made the thing saying that's how she learned how to heal people. Remember when she told her about when she put the protection spell on her, and she said that was the spell that she knew could heal people too? I don't know if Lydia will remember that, but have you guys discussed that she was the first person to realize the spell could also be used to heal? Oh, see? We was talking about the same thing, boo. So yeah, I think they are foreshadowing, but that's only if. When I tell y'all my lips so ashy, like you know how your lips ashy and your lips hurt for a moment, like it feel like your lips dried up. Like if you put a mask on, they dried up. That's how they feel now. And like I had to take a moment to realize, like, what is you doing in this world? I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to call it out real quick because we all had those moments. So B. Lee said that she thinks that Ruby is a strong character. She feels that she could be the weakness for Christina.
Yeah, we spoke about it earlier in the episode. I feel like everyone's talking about this as we talked about it at the beginning of the episode. But I think this episode did confirm that we felt like there is more to Christina than just solely using Ruby for whatever purpose that may be. Because we still don't really know because she can clearly get anybody to do whatever she wants to, but she got everybody doing everything.
Listen, at least you're royalty, okay?
Hey, look, I feel Sharon, I feel like Karen from Real Housewives. But I don't understand this rich thing because at the end of the day, we do know that
she's your white queen, okay?
We do know that she made the choice to decide, even if she knew that she was going to come back. Anyway, she decided to use that moment to die that way.
Let me tell you how I know that Trey over us, because he was like, when they do this, it's like, no.
I'm serious.
She meant in that moment. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if there was an attempt made because she was trying to feel something in order to think about what Ruby is going through. Because she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She is a freak. Like,
I'm just gonna let you have it.
Miss Coco Diva 84. Wilstina loves Ruby Wappington.
I mean, he do. He do. I don't know, Chad.
He does. Absolutely.
Okay, we know that, but I feel like I think we talked about this last week about how we do know in the book that Christina is the big bad of the book, but I feel like we're introduced to more layers here than I think. I'm not convinced that she is. I'm not convinced, and even if she is, we are still getting more nuance. I feel so.
Oh, she's deliciously complicated. I love
it.
Yeah, I love
more. Way more.
Yeah, because I was starting to think that it would be Lancaster who would be the big bad, but
or her daddy when he was there for like 15 minutes. Fitz from Scandal.
Isn't it?
Well, Fitz was there, but I don't think that we quite know that. Even if she does still end up being the big bad, we at least have seen that there is more to the story, and yeah.
Somebody said that Ruby needs to rock Christian. Who Christian? Who Christian?
We waiting like
right. We like, huh? They do have a toxic relationship.
Oh, Christina.
Oh, Christina. I was like, what? Okay. Yes. They do need to just smash each other and get it over with.
Ashes to ashes. Someone said Fitz ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Listen.
Yes.
When they turned to dust and that statue knocked over, that was like it's so funny to me.
But what if the Camijo is the one who killed?
I think that's a good theory that a lot of people have been saying. It does go with my idea that I think that this is definitely not the last time we've seen Gia. So
last time we see Gia Fox out?
Not ashiness to ashiness though. Was I ashy? I mean, I am ashy, but y'all can't tell I'm ashy through the camera. Okay, sorry.
Someone said y'all faces. Who? I was like, Christian who? Is there another white man? Is that one of the cops' names?
We were all confused. Okay.
I missed that character.
Like it's somebody. I thought it was a cop.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the recap, y'all. I mean, I'm going to get back to my peach cobbler. And I'm going to get back to my peach cobbler, and someone needs to moisturize. There's so many meanings to that, and you're correct.
Wow.
Who was Payne's brother? Maybe Christina is a part of the book. I mean, I do think we kind of. I mean, not literally Kane, but I think that's kind of the relationship between their ancestors, because Christina and her daddy were not of the same line as Atticus. That's why they needed Atticus.
They weren't direct descendants, right?
Atticus, because they are cousins of Titus, and Atticus is a direct descendant of Titus.
Yeah. I guess y'all to see when Captain Whitey turned to mush. Yes, we did. I stand.
Hey, y'all, hold on. I'm finna turn this light on. If I don't come back in 30 seconds, because there's too many noises happening, I ain't got time. I got some. You know what? God got me. I'll be right back.
You should take us with you.
I mean, not literally, but you know, I'm just saying that like one clearly Atticus's lineage is the more potent.
Potent. I like that.
And,
yes.
And Butterfinger cheesecake. That sounds good. Obviously. And whoever Christina and Fitz are from are not as potent.
You weren't even worried about me. You straight still talking. You weren't even worried about was I gonna come back safe.
I heard you. I can hear you moving around the background.
I'm sorry. My bad. Let me catch back up. Finish what you were saying. I apologize.
No. I was done.
Look, I've been going through it, y'all. Shoot, they be having me think I be hearing stuff in here. Maybe it was the little zombie twins, because I'm just like, I ain't got time.
They had doing the TikTok dances.
They gotta practice.
I wonder where Letty's family comes into play. Yeah, there's some there. Letty does definitely have a greater purpose. If they in these two episodes and we don't get the understanding of Letty's greater purpose in her family, then I'm going to be kind of annoyed.
Then there needs to be a season
protection spell. That they was renegading though.
They were. Hey, like that's what they were doing today. I said they were doing the savage TikTok dance.
Yeah, I think this is a good question though, Renee. How are they going to conclude this in 2 episodes? It's only 2 episodes left. So
I just can't believe they haven't been renewed yet.
It's only 1 season.
I'm hoping they do an anthology.
Like a Black anthology series?
Yeah. Like maybe set next one in like the 80s.
I did not go to Heat Up the Peach Cobbler, okay?
Lydia's cousin.
Ruby's last name is Baptiste. Is magic there? Letty's Christina cousin? I don't think it's going to be a season 2, y'all.
I hope
Why
so.
not? Why not?
When they first announced, they didn't like explicitly. I can't talk explicitly state limited series or miniseries. But they never did for Watchmen 2, and then Watchmen ended up like, okay, now we're gonna call this a limited series. So maybe
I knew Watchmen was gonna just be 1 season because showrunner had been talking about how he created to be just 1 season, and he had no plans on doing a season 2. I think they were just kind of shocked by the popularity, critically unpopular, how it was positive on both ends. I really wanted that season 2. But he said he only designed it for 1.
60, 70, 80. I think they could do more than that. We talked about last week about how we think that like it should be like American Horror Story or The Haunting of Hill House, where each season is like the same cast, but like they're playing different people, and how that ties into that. Also, we don't know for sure about that. I know people are like,
we don't know for sure. But what I do know, let me tell you what I do know. I better be seeing some biceps, triceps, quads, hamstring.
Oh, yeah, he didn't take off his shirt this episode.
Nothing. The only thing I got was from the pictures.
Someone say G.I. pulled up like, "Hello, Barbara. This is Shirley."
Look,
we don't know if it'll compete as a limited series yet. I mean, they did that with Watchmen retroactively because when it was first ordered, they said it was going to be. They didn't specify. Then, as the season went on, Damon Lindelof said that it seemed like a contained story, and then they made the decision to make it a limited series because that looks kind of bad. Because I don't know how much everyone knows about this, but a few years ago they did a Big Little Lies, and because it was originally a limited series, and then when they renewed for season 2, everyone was like, "Well, it just won all these limited series categories. It was not a limited series, so now it competes as drama series." So there's a lot of technical things about that. So I don't even if they were to not come back, I don't even know if they would make that distinction if they wanted to still leave the door open.
What was the meaning of the twins? Did we discuss this already?
We kind of didn't, but me and Sharonda were talking about different the Uncle Tom's Cabin book and stuff. I don't really know if we ever really got to what.
No, we're gonna listen to the Lovecraft podcast and figure that one out.
Yeah.
They
Well,
twins were representative of the minstrels.
That part they would have, and I think Maria talked about how they had the pickaninny. But as far as like the representation of that, that's kind of like out of my range.
I mean, also, I guess you could say racism is horror show again, right?
I thought that it was the girl she threw rocks at, but apparently people don't think so. That's what I thought initially.
Well, I probably because when she was looking at, well, not when she was looking at it, but when she was in the room with the Uncle Tom Cabin's book, there are two girls on the cover, and like one of their faces starts to change.
Oh, true.
And it falls off the shelf. So, but that doesn't mean those two girls didn't play the other two girls in the beginning. So,
yep.
We would never know. But I have an important interview in the morning. It has interviews too.
Minstrel, like Minstrel. Not that kind of minstrel.
Not even the bodily function, no.
Yeah, Christine, that's right. That's yeah, that makes sense. I didn't.
Oh, the twins represented Eva and Topsy from Uncle Tom's Cabin. Y'all better know y'all stuff, because I was just like, Chad,
this is also the first time in a long time that I haven't watched the episode twice by this time. I only watched it once.
We literally watched it like an hour before it aired. Beatley, who you talking to? Who you telling? Shoot, same. Where's the link? I haven't posted those yet. I'm taking a break from Twitter, child. You too.
From the internet.
I just busted a zit. It hurts.
I know.
You are very welcome, Cappuccino. Thank you, Lunar, for wishing us luck on our interviews.
Hopefully everything is well organized.
For the interview, my interviews are just early tomorrow, so like I'll have to get my life together.
Mine are 12:30. So if you all want to watch the HBO Max with Charm City Kings, I'm doing interviews for those. So follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hello.
Yeah. And what's your Trey Magna?
I will be holding it down for the Crown fans tomorrow, interviewing
yes, the Crown, my white love and hip hop.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all haven't watched the Crown.
Right.
It's really good. I feel like it's a show that Black people will really enjoy if they gave it the time.
I had a thread where I tweeted it like it was love and hip hop, and it really is.
Trey and Maria, tell everyone where they can find you on that Bird app and all those other apps.
You can follow me on the Bird app and that little picture, whatever the Instagram icon looks like.
The camera
on Twitter and Trey.Mangum on Instagram.
I don't know why I always want to call you Trey Magnum, but
everyone does. I did an interview last week and it was like Magnum. They were like, oh, it's Mangum, not Magnum. I was like, nah, I guess not.
I'm sorry, I probably made that mistake too. But you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ValarMoreDollars. That's ValarMoreDollars. And then I also have a Lovecraft Country recap and review podcast called Lovecraft Country Crossing. So we do like deep dives and get into the history and all the Easter eggs and all that kind of stuff. So me and my host Megan, we do that every week. So come join us crossing Lovecraft Country together.
Yeah, what's the Suki Hana video? I'm giving YouTube a break just for my own mental.
What is the Suki Hana video though? I need to now.
Now you gotta somebody tell us what that is. Oh, and I did say we have some Crown fans. Like, okay. I'm going to be getting some answers about Prince Charles and Princess Diana tomorrow. So, we're in the morning, rather.
Oh, my gosh. Don't look up Suki Hana. Don't look it up.
Oh.
I just did. Don't look it up.
Well, now because you said that.
No, I have to. Right.
No. If you do it, don't scroll down too far.
Suki Hana. Don't
look at it. Fargo. I want to see Fargo, but I didn't have chance enough to screen it beforehand. I just ran out of time, and then the reviews are kind of mixed, so I don't know if I will see it, but I want to just kind of.
Oh my god!
Multiple people said something about Fargo, so yeah. Sharonda, I told you don't look it up.
Did she throw up?
It appears so.
Why you do that to me?
I told you not to.
I'm not sure why you would be quitting Twitter because of that, or taking a break because of that.
Thank you, Kiki. After my eyes.
We told you not to.
Yeah, but because you said
I didn't even get that far in the video. I just saw that someone said what it was. No, I was no.
Who is Suki Hana though?
She's a rapper, I believe. I think she was one of the women who made an appearance in the WAP video.
Can we talk about this though? This OnlyFans mess is getting out of control. It's really out of control. And I think that they need to ban celebrities because this like desperate for stardom, like.
Well, and it's also the celebrities are also making it worse for the actual sex workers.
Yeah.
So
they really are.
I did stay in my white queen, the silver side. I did.
Are you asking Maria? Was she on the B-Roll podcast? She was.
Yes, I was.
That's just I'm kind of sick of this. They out of control. First Tiger, now this little nasty try. That's so nasty.
That looks like an old video though. Like was she seriously things like now?
Huh?
I don't know. I just it's past my bedtime.
Mind wipe. Didn't
My spirit is unsettled.
Gotta go get some bleach, y'all. For this.
I'm gonna go get some peach cobbler because that was just too much.
Yes.
I don't know if I can eat.
Take me away.
She did that recently. Oh wow. Okay. And she posted it herself?
And it was for her OnlyFans?
Oh my goodness.
Maybe it was a lie. So what's that? You gonna eat after that? Hell yeah, I'm finna go eat. She ain't finna mess up this peach cobbler. I've been waiting all day for this peach cobbler. She ain't finna mess that up. The devil will not win. The devil is defeated.
The fact that she chose to do that, wow. Ugh.
Yeah, that's just trifling. People do anything just to.
OnlyFans, I would unsubscribe at that moment.
Like for real.
So whoever followed her, like, hopefully no one here is following her.
It was on her Instagram Live. Why is
Instagram Live?
How?
That seems against the terms and conditions.
I was about to say they should have immediately snatched it because they be snatching down people live for music in the back, faintly music in the background.
But I feel like I was just having this conversation. It's kind of crazy because at church they talked about like porn today, and I was just thinking about how easily accessible this stuff is on Twitter. I was looking at somebody posted a video joking about something, and then I was like, oh, let me go to their page because let me see if they have more like funny videos, and it was like all these like porn.
You okay, Sharonda?
No.
What's going on? We need to post up. Oh, she said you still what? She look nuts. Somebody say straight faces got me weak. I'm trying to hear. I listen with my eyes, so I'm like,
yeah, I knew it was a girl.
Oh.
They're too loud.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, like sit down. Sorry. I apologize about that. If you guys are new to this, I do have issues with my neighbors who basically stopped until 12 o'clock
People
at night.
know the broom, or they like the broom.
They were doing it till 1 o'clock last night. I had to hit the ceiling because they're just so loud. I apologize, but it was too much. I've been dealing with this all day. What were we talking about? I'm sorry. I sure just dipped out on y'all.
It's about midnight, so
I sure dipped out of y'all. I'm so sorry. Y'all probably.
I think we wrapped it up.
Are you okay? You were like, no. And I was like,
I was like Monique from Housewives of Potomac. She was like, where's she at? Did she just start running?
I need to catch up on that.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, okay. Lord, it's just one more year. You gonna bless me with a house, Lord? You gonna bless me with a house? Okay. I'm gonna go eat my peach cobbler. Forget about this video and hope that my neighbors just chill out. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a great week, a great start to your week. Protect your joy. Okay, protect your peace, protect your energy. No, protect your joy. I mean, y'all, I messed this up. My best friend, she mad. She was like, you don't ever say that to me. Why you say that to them and you never say that to me? Now she ain't got me all messed up. Protect your peace, protect your energy. Don't let them steal your joy. And have a great week, okay? Because they try me at work and I'm not gonna let them win. They will not win. The devil is defeated already. Okay. But Maria and Trey, child, I forgot we like on the live and stuff. I'm all out of it today. I'm so happy that you guys joined me today. Maria, thank you for coming on for the first time. Trey, thank you for bringing your reaching attitude, your reach for the stars attitude to the Lovecraft.
Always.
We appreciate it, okay? But I hope everyone has a great week, and I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye, everyone.
Bye.